Hello, hello.
Can you see me, hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you. Oh no, I'm not looking at you yet. I'm just going to shut face. One sec.
What you say?
I'm going to get. So.
My signal's proper apart. I can't hear you. I'm going to turn this other phone off so it's not interfering with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Right. Can you hear me?
Oh shit! I just spilled fucking tea everywhere.
Oh, shouldn't be wasting tea like that.
I know. I'll just clean that up a sec. So basically, 5 minutes to see if anyone's going to join, and then
No
I am. Oh, there's 4 viewers.
Same
Evening viewers. Oh shit. So I'm just going to clean my keyboard up.
Victor said it's live and free of watching.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, she said give her a spanner, moderate a spanner if you can.
Here you go. Let's see if I can get any moderators. Group chat. Use links. It's not giving me an option. I think because I've not gone through the live streaming route and I've gone through just Google Hangouts.
Okay. Why is there like a separate thing, like the YouTube Hangout and the Google YouTube Hangout?
Yes. So the Google live streaming, I've got to download something to do something, and it won't install. So that's but you can just do it through this. I can hear that I'm getting a tiny little bit of feedback when I speak. How's that at your end?
You are?
I'm getting a little bit of feedback on this end when I speak. How are you?
I'm getting you like it's decent, quite a decent stream now. To be fair, I'm not getting no glitches or out.
Okay, excellent. Is there anything you want before we crack on? Do you want to get yourself a cuppa or a smoke or anything?
Yeah, go on up.
Make yourself one ready.
Yeah, we know. Wait for more people to join and that, like, I don't know. But...
Yeah, we're just leaving it a couple of minutes, just getting ourselves together, and then we're ready to go. I just need to make a cigarette and then we'll go.
Pardon me. Right, we're ready to go.
Right, we're ready to go, yeah. So, good evening, anyone that's joining us or anyone that tunes in to watch this later. I'm going to be chatting tonight with Tom Truthful, also known as Tom Wilkinson, a truth activist, a flat earth activist, and we'll be chatting about his journey, how he got here, and what his thoughts and ideas are for the future. So, welcome, Tom.
Now then.
So, thanks for coming on. Thanks for agreeing to talk with me.
First live as well, so I thought like earlier, like I was like, I don't know why I'm bothered, yeah, because I'm live every day on CCTV, so I'm all right being myself on their cameras, so why can't I be live on my camera and be all right? So it's just a confidence thing, innit? An ego thing. So
yeah, as you'll settle into it, it'll be fine. I've noticed that when we've been doing the activism, some people will say, "Oh, can you stop recording me?" or "I've not given my permission for you to film me." Walk in and out of shops and through town all day, every day, and never pay a second thought to.
They don't think about that though, do they? I've been watching this thing on YouTube called Social Experimentalist, and basically he goes into like shopping malls with a fucking megaphone, and it talks about all this stuff like, carry on, don't listen to me, just carry on shopping, like talks about terrorism and things like that. Like he purposely does it to get kicked out of the shopping malls, like by the police. He's testing the boundary of the law and that.
Sounds very interesting. What's that called?
Social Experimentalist.
Can we find that on YouTube?
Yeah. He's got loads of it. I think he's been doing it for like 9 years.
Oh. So, Tom, how did you come to realizing that the world's not what we've been taught it is?
Right, well, I'll have to tell you about how I first come to realize everything, really, to be fair, because I was in a perfect little bubble at one point, like everyone is, to be fair. Right, it was like nearly 3 years ago now, September 2015. My mum was like on the deathbed. It was I was called to the hospital to turn a life support machine off, and when I got there, like my whole family was there ready, and the nurse said to me, as soon as I got there, she said, "Is there anything anyone wants to say before we turn the machine off?" And I said, "Do you have to turn it off by law?" And she looked at me and said, "No." So that was it then. I started dragging beds and trolleys and everything in front of the door. This is an intensive care unit. And I said to him, I was like, "Nobody's leaving this room until you tell me why you're turning that machine off if you don't have to do it by law." And the machine, like, it just flatlined itself, yeah? So that's impossible, literally impossible. Like, it has to be turned off, yeah? So for the heartbeat just flatline on that machine, my mum's soul must have been in that room present, and she was ready to die, you know what I mean? So that proved to me there, not only is the fucking system corrupt and they were trying to kick my mum out of the bed, but that we have a soul, yeah? You know what I mean? We're not just this fucking meat suit. So it's fucking, that was my beginning of my awakening. And like, I went fucking head first, like proper deep, started posting, like, I made a conspiracy group that got pretty popular in my town. And someone from Lincoln called Benjamin Pollard, he put a post in the group saying, can you prove you live on a sphere? So I was like, what the fuck? I just lost my breath, talking too much. He's like, can you prove you live on a sphere? And I was like, what the fuck, who's this guy? And I was arguing with him like 2 o'clock in the morning, like 500 comment argument. and I thought I'd won. Obviously, fucking my ego did anyway. And then like a few weeks later, I got a notification for it, and I was at a house party. I was in a completely different mind frame, and I was like looking down at what he was saying, and I was like actually googling what he was suggesting me to Google, and like I was thinking, fucking hell. So that was it. Then I thought, right, with today's technology, I must be able to prove that the Earth curves. Like, do you know what I mean? That it has to be a way. So I like spent ages, about 10 hours on Google, YouTube, everything, trying to find ways to prove the curvature. And I realized you cannot scientifically prove that you live on a ball. You can't, it doesn't move, spin, or curve. So I was just like, what the fuck? So I just told everyone in the house party, I was like, the Earth's flat, and they all laughed at me and started calling me an idiot and that. Obviously, I didn't have the knowledge to prove it then, so I just shut up me and I didn't post about it for a while until I started looking in groups and things like that and gaining my knowledge, debating things like that. And then I thought, fuck it, one day I just come out of it on my timeline, and here I am today, talking to you.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, not really, the start of that is very tragic and traumatic, but brilliant.
But fucking, it's like life handed me there like the worst thing that I could ever possibly go through. Yeah, so now I'm nothing like the system can't touch me now. You know what I mean? I still feel pain from it, still hurt by it, but I've dealt with the worst thing that could ever possibly happen to me. So I feel like I'm invincible, to be fair.
So, would it be fair to say that you're a free spirit now?
You are?
Could you be described as a free spirit?
I've always been a free spirit, yeah. Like from the age of 11, I was always been a little bastard as well, like a class clown, troublemaker. But when I was 11, I ran away for 2 weeks. So like I basically stripped the authority from my parents. They was like scared to punish me. So I've literally always been a free spirit. My mum was more of my best friend and the guide. You know what I mean? She'd tell me like, "Oh well, I don't think you should do this." If she told me I don't do it, I'd just go and do it anyway. So like, yeah, it's madness, like really.
It is madness. You're very active online with your truth bombs.
Yeah.
Where can people find you for information, knowledge, wisdom? Where can we find you on social media?
You are?
Where can we find you on social media?
Oh, fucking hell! I'm on Twitter as Tom Truthful. I'm on Instagram as Tom underscore Truthful. YouTube Tom Truthful. I'm on that MeWe, but it's fucking dead at the moment. You know what I mean? You just preach it to the choir. You can only speak to the friends. So like, what's the point in that? Obviously Snapchat, but I've had that for years. I just take it because when you take a picture on Snapchat, yeah, it doesn't swap your face around. Like if you go on your camera now and take a picture, like some reason your fucking left ear will be your right ear. Yeah, that's not the picture I took. You know what I mean? So on Snapchat, whatever you see on the screen, that's what it'll capture. That's the reason why I've still got Snapchat.
I
Yeah,
didn't know.
it's good as well. It's good as well because I've got like people on my Snapchat from like 3 years ago, and when I was like before I was like started talking all this crazy shit, yeah. So like every now and again, I just go on my Snapchat and just spam it with loads of flat Earth memes. You'll see the views, yeah. You'll see the views. It'll start like the first picture will be seen by like 67 people, and then like the last picture will be like 20. So like they've all got triggered and fucked off.
So it's very effective then.
Oh, definitely.
Um, before you discovered the Earth was flat and you was in this conspiracy group, what kind of things were you researching?
Oh, fucking everything. It was all like the diet woke truth of shit, you know, like fucking Illuminati, 9/11, just and there's all the like all the mad theories that everyone's got about the theories as well. That fucking it was just basically like the group itself was called um, theories debate, theories debates and views on beliefs, something like that. And like, do you know what I mean? So basically, you could just post about anything and anything. Fucking, and it's really popular. Like everyone just because like no one like conspiracy in my town had not really been a thing. So that was like a new thing everyone jumped on. It was all right. and it got a bit fucking weird. I ended up giving it away because it got a bit like egotistical. Turned into like a slag website. All these like lasses started posting fucking like all this shit. So I just ended up calling it masturbate and giving it to my mate.
Oh dear. So, recently you've been doing quite a lot of street activism. Can you tell me how that came about?
Well, that come about. I went like, well, when I first started posting about flat Earth and that, I got added to a group called Futures, and that's how I ended up in activism. Basically, fucking, I met John Smith Blowbly through them, and yeah, that's how my first ever activism event was Eastbourne. Yeah, I've done about 5 or 6 now, I think 7 maybe.
How did you find your first one?
Oh, it was nerve-wracking, but the only reason, that I got involved is because there was this lad, like it was a lad like me, like Chavy, fucking Jack the Lad type of lad, and he was like no, and everyone was going through him, and that I just thought, fuck this, I'm off over to him, and it sort of worked. So I ended up like, oh come on then, I'm off. So yeah.
So you're able to relate to different types of people as well. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. Me and Matt Seddon was on about this at the last activism thing at Liverpool Docks. He was saying that it's nice at this activism because we had different age categories. Like there was me and Matt, the young lads, and then there was like Vic, you, and that. Like, do you know what I mean? And then there was like Colin and Harry, and you know what I mean, it was like very all different age groups, and it was perfect. So like people could come along, like the old people come along, like seeing me and Matt, like, but then they'd see Harry, and it's like, oh, you know what I mean? And then like it was good.
yeah, I know what you mean. When I first came to Liverpool and I saw you all there, it was really busy, and you had a really good setup with the banners and the signs. And every person that had gone along to the activism, you were all engaged.
Definitely a headbanger. It's massive. That's why it's just so big, and it's like, what the fuck does that say? And like the first like big letters are red, so it's like, boom, and it's like you've been told lies. I've been told lies. What do you mean? So they carry on reading.
What else do you think they lied to us about, Tom? Because
They lie to us about literally everything. Yeah, like honestly, they control the information, all the information. Yeah, so like, you know what I mean? We only know a kettle is a kettle because it's called a kettle. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like that's how much. Like I'm not saying it's not called a kettle. Yeah, and it's not a kettle. I'm saying that they could literally brainwash us to the point where we believe that we're fucking upside down on a spinning fucking space ball. Do you know what I mean? Like literally, like the wordplay, it's just genius and things like that. Like legalese is its own language, but it's the same language we use. Do you know what I mean? So like the fuckery goes deep, like unreal.
if anyone that's watching that isn't aware, legalese is the language of the law society, and it looks and sounds exactly like English. But anytime that you're in a courtroom or you're going to contracts, you're signing contracts or anything, none of that is written in plain English. So all the words have different definitions, and only the people that have studied law understands what's actually really being said and what you're really agreeing to.
So basically, like when a police officer says to you, "Do you understand?" What he's really saying to you is, "Do you stand under my authority?" So it's like, and even some police officers don't know this. Do you know what I mean? Like that, they're only trained in legalese, so they don't have a clue about common law. They have not got a clue. So it's like that's how like how big the fuckery is. Do you know what I mean? Like the police are getting trained in a job, and they're only getting like told they're scratching the surface of what's really going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So basically, on a positive note, everyone is being fucked over in every which way possible at all times.
The positive note, yeah.
So, what's been your biggest learning curve? Over like the recent years.
What since my awakening, or just the recent years?
Well, both. But we'll go since your awakening.
Since my awakening, basically, don't know, to be fair, like, it's been a wild ride. Sorry, what was the question again?
What's your biggest learning curve?
Basically, how to deal with trolls, basically, yeah. So you've got these people, obviously I share posts, yeah, in groups and everywhere. So I've got people coming at me from all angles. And the way to determine if it's a troll or not is you ask them, yeah, are you willing to learn? Yeah, are you here to learn or troll? Yeah, and whatever the answer then, you'll know straight away whether they're there to learn or they're to troll. Because if they're not there to learn, there's no point wasting your energy unless you do it tactically and like usually like reply to them, but realize that everyone else might be reading. You know what I mean? So do it there for the viewers. But like, don't get angry and triggered by these trolls because you know what I mean. There's thousands of them there. You're getting triggered by one of them. You're in the wrong game.
Yeah, definitely. That's good advice. Before Flat Earth, I didn't really know what social media was. I just used Facebook as a way to connect with old friends and family members. So I didn't even know what a troll was. I didn't know that people just came on, you know. So yeah, that's something to deal with when you're doing this kind of stuff. But that's really sound advice what you just gave us there. So thanks for that.
That's all right.
One of the things what I found on this journey through Flat Earth is just connecting with people, because I've always been quite reclusive and I like my own company, and I like just doing the things I like to do when I like to do them and not being on someone else's schedule.
Is that only because how the system's designed though? Like, because obviously, like, I don't feel like I can fit in. I could stand in the town centre full of people, and I don't feel like I could talk to many of them at all. You know what I mean? So it's like we've been like boxed off, haven't you? It's like that's what I was confirming what you were saying. Like now that we're coming together, we're doing these activism events and these camps. It's beautiful. I get homesick on the way back from them. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I don't want to leave.
Yeah, no, that is what I meant. It's just been amazing, the people that I've connected with and friendships that I've made. When I thought that I was alone, and it's like you said, it is society kind of sets you up that way because it's all shit and it's all just.
Nobody wants to be themselves. They all want to be like fucking Kim Kardashian or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Nobody actually wants to be themselves, and society's programmed them to be that way. You know what I mean? Like, you either think you're better than someone or lesser than them. Nobody wants to feel equal. But that's what we all are. We're all human. I mean, we're all human beings.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's been a good journey, meeting people, connecting with people, and also it's been great for me, confidence-wise, because I'm quite socially awkward. So when we do this activism, it's like really helped me to step outside of myself a bit, you know, and have that confidence.
A few of the activists really coming out of the shells. Like, the more we go on, the more events we do.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
One thing that come into contact with quite frequently as a flat earther is hostility, and we've already mentioned the trolls online. But like, how did your family and friends take it? You know, when they realised that, oh, hang on, he's serious, he's not pulling our leg.
Well, like my close family, like I've always been like a mad guy. You know what I mean? Like, so they just probably thought, oh fucking hell. You know what I mean? My little sister, she's okay about it. Like, she doesn't take the piss out of me or out. Like, if I try talking to her about it, you can just see her switch off. You know, like, no. But yeah, my little brother, he's been quite like, I don't know, like, I've said something to him and he'll say something back and it'll be like, oh yeah, good question, mate. So it's been quite good talking to my little brother about some of the stuff. My older sister, she has nothing to do with me anymore. I assume it's because she doesn't want to see me commenting on her posts and her friends comment looking like, who's this lad? And seeing all my shit and seeing I'm associated with her, which is quite sad really because I love her to bits and she's like my older sister. But yeah, fuck that shit. What was the question again? I've gone off topic.
Hostility. What
You are?
the hostility that we encounter as flat earthers.
Oh, fucking hell. Like, obviously, like friends and family wise, it's pretty sweet. Old friends, yeah. Like this Facebook that I'm using now, it's full of my old friends. Like it's from 2 years ago, this account. So like, I can't imagine what that I'll be talk of the town now because I'm on everyone's news feed with all the flat Earth and everything now. So yeah, fuck it. But yeah, like every day, day in, day out, I've got like, I should start screenshotting, you know, because I get some funny people with the most brainwashed, stupid replies where they're denying what I'm saying, yeah, and completely contradicting themselves in the same comment. And it's like, do you know what I mean? I need to start screenshotting them and do a little collage of the most brainwashed comments.
Yeah, there are some good ones out there. When it comes to doing street activism, there's been a few hostile responses, but on the whole, people have been quite receptive to it, and it's been getting warmer and warmer receptions.
Mine as well now. A lot more people are receptive to it.
More people are open to listen to the concepts and the ideas.
Like a lot of people, like when I first started posting about it, a lot of people would just give you insults, but now there's questions. I mean, like there's not as many insults. There's still insults, but there's a lot more questions now. People are like, why this and why that? So they are more interested rather than angry.
That's good. Questions are always good. Like if I'm online or I'm out there, I always welcome questions. You know.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. Sometimes
but give it a go.
that's it. Sometimes it's good when you get a question because it's like, oh, hang on a minute, I've never thought about that before, and you'll come out of an authentic answer that you've never thought about before. So it's like, oh, no, yeah.
I do have some individual thought. Yeah, that was good for me. When I first got into this, the only person I spoke to about it for like a 12-month period, my brother, we didn't live in the same place, so we just did back and forth over the internet or anytime I would visit. But he would ask the greatest questions and he stuck on them for days. But in the end, it's like these questions, what people ask, it's giving you an education, you know, it makes you learn harder.
Yeah.
You know, makes you think about things from every possible perspective. So it's all good. Do you ever watch the news?
Only to laugh at. No. Nah. Basically, like only if if I go to a family member's house and they've got it on, and you know what I mean, I'm like he's talking shit, or do you know what I mean, or what? I've never turned the TV on to watch any sort of program. I quite like my fucking series on Netflix and that. Like you get some mad like conspiracy style things. There's a thing called Handmaid's Tale now. It's not on Netflix, but you can get it on them Cody things. That Handmaid's Tale. Fucking hell. Wow. I'm not going to spoil it for you anyway. Just go fucking watch that shit. It's amazing. It's fucking like if we don't sort our acts out, it's our future. Well, do you know what I mean? They're rubbing it in our faces and we're using it as entertainment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, in the not so distant future, that could be us.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've watched that. It's a fantastic show. I won't give anything away because I'm
episode 7, so don't spoil it for me.
no, my lips are sealed. Dear. What's your favorite thing about NASA? What's the funniest thing like that just cracks you up?
What you mean? Them fucking bunch of criminalistic fucking actonauts that fucking fit on harnesses and wear hairspray and fucking dance about for 52 million a fucking day. Them bastards.
So you've met them then?
No, fucking hell. I've watched a lot of their material and fucking hell. For the amount that they get paid a day, they should have hired some better fucking actors, man. You know what I mean? Like, these cunts don't even know how to use the harnesses. They're trying to fucking pretend they're not on.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking. When I think my favourite thing to look at NASA is always the International Space Station, because it's like the funniest thing that you've ever seen. You've got these guys on there pretending to be astronauts, and they can't even answer a scientific question. In fact, they won't take scientific questions from anybody.
Honestly, it's all scripted. You know what I mean? You know when they do these fucking like live broadcasts to like a sports hall full of children or something. Do you know what I mean? Like it's scripted as fuck. They've got these preconceived questions because they know like the sports hall, like you can't ask that question. You got to ask this one. You know what I mean? It'll all be scripted, you know, because they've only recorded these answers. You know what I mean? These certain answers. It's fucking madness, man.
Yeah, it's funny for me because I just find things funny and I can laugh at almost anything. But when I think about how everything they do is aimed at children, and it's all about capturing their imagination and boxing their little minds off, it makes me angry, you know.
That's it. That's exactly it. Like they've taken our imaginations on a joyride, yeah, and they're still fucking out there now. Do you know what I mean? We ain't claimed our imaginations back. So it's like I say, like this triggered someone on the street activism. I said gravity is an invisible dildo they use to rape your mind. And he said, I can't believe you just used rape in that context. And I was like, I can't believe you just got triggered over a word, mate. You know what I mean? And that put him in the back in his little box. That, but like, they use these fancy words and they take our imagination. We're like, wow, galaxies, fucking universe, black holes, really? You know what I mean? And like, you can't prove any of them exists at all. You know what I mean? You've just been on a mad little fucking wow.
Yeah, black holes are fantastic. You can't see them, touch them, taste them, detect them, anything, but
The only place NASA has ever explored is the space between your ears.
very true. Yeah, and also Disney has been a big hand in that, helping to mold our imagination to make us think what space is actually like, you know.
Yeah. And they always want us to be looking up at these stars, thinking, wow, I wonder where and I wonder what. So we're not looking down here and thinking, I wonder about what's at North Pole and Antarctica. Why is there an Antarctic treaty? Why can you travel every desert in the world and nobody bats an eyelid? But oh no, it's too dangerous to go to Antarctica. You know what I mean? Like they're distracting us. They're just distracting us from everything, every angle possible. You know what I mean? Like as soon as we all start questioning things, they sprinkle a bit of fear on us. Here's a bit of fucking Ebola. Here's a bit of swine flu. Do you know what I mean? Fear, fear, fear.
Yeah, that's got to be the biggest method of mind control, and also the biggest way that they control human movements, you know, to stop us from going places. It's a bit like the Truman Show, you know, when he's trying to get out of wherever, and he goes to the travel
attractions in front of his way and that.
And they're just like, oh, everything's been discovered. There's nothing to see. You know, get back to work. So going back to
as well, like you know, like soon as you ask a question, yeah, they'll instantly Google it and ask NASA, yeah. So that, you know what I mean? They'll automatically assume someone's already discovered it, someone's already figured it out. You know what I mean? They don't know the fucking name of it, so it's like,
yeah, they've got it all figured out. It's all boxed off. That's one of the biggest reasons that people can't get on board with this concept, and it's pure cognitive dissonance. But basically, people have suspended their own intelligence and their own common sense and their own senses in favour of what the experts say. You know, these experts they've never met, never going to meet, but they figured it out, and they're much more intelligent than me. They've got more education, got more qualifications.
it's the authority thing of being a scientist. Oh, I'm a scientist, so you must believe everything I say because I'm a scientist. I have a PhD in brainwashing. you know what I mean? That's fucking...
Yeah. Like if I started to wear a white jacket with a little name tag on or whatever, and
Yeah,
some letters.
Do a hangout. I'll have a test tube and fucking a Bunsen burner. You have a lab coat on. We might get more views and people might start listening to us.
Oh, people would definitely take us more seriously. I mean, look at I forget his name now. The science guy.
Oh, fucking Bill Nye.
Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill Nye would never lie, but he does. And what's interesting, like, on the American side, you know, they've got these two authority figures, Bill Nye and the other one, deGrasse Tyson. They're both, it's in the public domain, it's out there, you can find it. They're both registered actors, you know, it's like...
They've got more qualifications in acting than they have in fucking science.
Exactly. Because they can talk into a camera and deliver lines and remember scripts, and because it's broadcast into people's homes through the television, people will accept it as truth without even questioning.
Go on, finish. I've got a good
I
point.
was saying, they'll accept it as truth without even looking into it or thinking about it, you know, with their own brain for 2 seconds.
Yeah, but, see what happens when they do get chance to give their own lines. Fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson ends up calling the Earth a fucking oblate spheroid. You know what I mean? Calls it a pear. That's when he's allowed to speak his own words. Someone's asked him an authentic question and he's not had his script there, so he's like, and he has to lie on the spot and fucking make us all look, make NASA look stupid. You know what I mean? So showing this perfect sphere, and he's saying it's fucking chubby at the edges and shit.
A little chubby around the bottom, I think he said.
Yeah, something like
that. Yeah, funny bastard. Yeah, but people take that seriously, and it's like
I watched one of Harry's John Smith Globe Live videos the other day, and he's interviewing two students, and like he asked them like, how open-minded they was and that, and they was like, yeah, 10. I reckon I'm a 10. And then he's like, what shape do you think the Earth is? And it was like, an oblique spheroid. You know what I mean? Like that's just fucking. It's literally probably last time it's fucking mad. They just Google's their Lord, Google's their God. You know what I mean? They don't use their own brain.
No, not at all. But people seem to be happy that way, you know. It's like we trust the authorities. They'll never lie to us. They've got our best interest at heart. You know, why would they tell us lies about such things?
I know. Why would a group of psychotic criminals lie to their slaves? Why?
Thank you. So basically, that's going to be my response from now on. I'm going to steal that from you. Because, I mean, that's the thing that I like about you, Tom.
It's gone off, I think. You there? Go on, it's back on. Oh no, the sound's gone. Fuck's sake. Can you see me? I've gone off the screen now. I can't even see myself. What the fuck?
The sound back.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you then. What the fuck? It's muffled though.
Okay. I can hear you.
I can hear you, but I don't know if you can see me because I can just see a picture of me in the corner.
Yeah, no, your video's gone off, but when you do talk, the thumbnail comes
on. Is it back on?
No.
What the fuck? That's trippy as fuck that.
We can still continue like this. It might come back a bit, but the sound's good, so.
Right, there's just a picture of me in the middle, yeah, and there's like loads of circles around it. And like every time I talk, the circles move. So it's like listening to the sound of me. but
Yeah.
there's no option to get the camera back on.
And I don't have that option to turn your camera on.
Back on.
Oh, you're back. There you go.
Am I back on?
You're back on.
What the fuck?
So basically, what I was just saying there was what I like about your post is you don't try and fill them up with fancy words and to try and make yourself sound clever. You know, you just say it as it is, as it comes.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, yeah. But they really do become like truth bombs then, because they kind of
That's it, yeah.
And it explodes in your mind and it hits home. Do you know? I don't need to get my dictionary out. Start looking up these words that you've used or anything like that. It's like that is plain English, and I understand that.
Great, resonates.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was an interesting thing on Loki's Fire in the Booth too. It says like something like create windows with words. And I was like, wow, that's what we're doing. Like we're posting things, yeah, and people are reading it, and it's creating a window in the mind, and they're looking through it and like, fucking hell, what's in that room? You know what I mean? It's like it is good, and like the short and sweet ones are just then little head scratchers. They're like, oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great. You're really good at what you do. And also, I've noticed you're quite you're a very positive person, but you're like a magnet. You know, you draw people towards you, which is what a movement would want. People like that out there spreading the truth, because you actually get censored a lot, which is something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, it's more like them algorithms. Apparently, algorithms. I think it's a bit more sinister than just algorithms, to be fair. But yeah.
What is your sinister theory on that?
Well, we all know about AI, and there's a lot of fucking counter concepts and all that. But the fact that Facebook is constantly updating itself, all the apps on your phone are constantly updating themselves. You know what I mean? And even your keyboard, yeah, it remembers the way you type and things like that. The fucking phone's called Android, yeah. Thing isn't AI. They're all AI things, yeah. Do you know what I mean? And they say that the all-seeing eye, we're all carrying the all-seeing eye around with us in our pocket. Yeah, do you know what I mean? The front camera wasn't invented for us to do this. Do you know what I mean? At all. So like that's what I mean. I can go deep into this shit.
So, yeah. So the front camera wasn't invented for selfies, people.
I don't reckon the front camera was invented for art for us. You know what I mean? Because like, come on, man. Like the first like camera phones, they're just normal cameras, so everyone could just take pictures, and then they thought, let's get them on the ego train. You know what I mean? Let's constant selfies, and you know what I mean. And they're constantly getting our facial recognition. So like the CCTV, obviously CCTV is increasing fucking extremely every day, popping up all over the place in schools, corridors, fucking everything all over. You know what I mean? We're the most watched fucking people ever. And like now they've got constant feedback in everybody's homes. Do you know what I mean? So they can literally like, it's mad.
No, it is, and I don't really think it matters what
even if you get rid of your phone now, you know what I mean? You're walking past people with phones. Do you know what I mean? They're still picking up on your energy, who you are, your being. You're still getting affected by the radiation and all that shit that everyone else's phones are emitting. So you can't avoid it now at all.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's I live in an area that where the kind of when they trialed CCTV, and it's only a small town, and now it's absolutely like I don't know how many years it's been. It's been about 15 years since they came out, maybe more. But now the place is absolutely littered with these cameras that are everywhere, which goes back to what we were talking about.
And that's exactly what gave me the confidence to do this. I just thought, fuck fucking hell, I'm being filmed all day, every day, and I'm fine being myself in front of them cameras. So fuck it.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you came on because it's been really.
We were running and ahhing about doing live, weren't we? It was like, oh, and I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
I've almost forgot, to be fair, I almost forgot that we was live getting that much into the conversation. I really was. If say somebody just stumbled upon this information tomorrow and they saw some graffiti somewhere that said the earth is flat and get upon themselves think, I might look into that, where would you advise them to start? Like, what should they look at first?
I found some really good videos. So if it was just to like introduce them to flat Earth, I'd give them something like that. The Truth Does Not Fear Investigation video. If they was like having loads of questions about it, I'd give them the 35 most asked questions about the flat Earth. But I've just literally put a video on Facebook now and my YouTube of ODD's The Case for Flat Earth, and it's fucking brilliant. Like, it's all right. The first 5 minutes are all right, and then you've got like this guy does a bit of Google Earth curvature maths, and that's a bit. But then the video is just epic after that. Like, he goes into detail perfectly. So I fully recommend ODD to everyone.
Yeah, I quite like ODD. I call him Odd TV. Some people say ODD TV.
That's what it is. Odd, isn't it? Odd reality.
Yeah, but I actually, regardless of what his beliefs are or anything, I actually think he's a very good filmmaker and really good at putting these documentaries.
He's a proper researcher. Like, he goes in depth on everything. He opens up doors that you don't even know is there. Just like, wow. It gives you more than enough to chew on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Another YouTube channel that I love, that everybody knows I love, Pet's Truth Tube, the TETS Truth Tube, and he's a fellow flat earther, and I think last time I looked, I think he'd done like 54 flat earth videos, and they're all brilliant. They're all on like different things that you could research. But his particular skill is pulling NASA to pieces, and just in a comedy way, you know. So yeah, but
that's the best way though. Like, if as soon as you disprove NASA to someone, yeah, they've got no proof then, because all the proof comes from NASA. I mean, as soon as you destroy their little NASA bubble, that's it. You've got them. You've got them on the hook. You know what I mean? You've got here's the door. You've got to walk through it now because you haven't got no NASA.
yeah, it's like the NASA especially, but the other space agencies. But it's like they are the priests of the heliocentric model, and
Definitely. The fact like the UK hasn't got a space agency is a bit fishy, isn't it? So people always say to me, because I always say, NASA gets all this money, 52 million a day, 19 billion of the taxpayers' money, and everyone in the UK is like, well, you don't fucking pay for it. I'm like, I paid 25 years of imagination to them bastards. You know what I mean? But yeah, like,
yeah.
why hasn't the UK got a space agency?
I don't know why we've just teamed up with Europe. I don't know why we've not got our own space agency. Maybe it's I have no idea.
Maybe we're not allowed to steal NASA's limelight.
No, maybe not. I mean, they did have Richard Branson for a long time, and he was doing similar to what SpaceX was. He wanted to have.
He's gone quiet with his little with his little Mars flights, hasn't he? He's gone quiet. I've not heard out from fucking Branson in a while.
No, he's gone quiet on the whole thing. He's not been up in any hot air balloons or done any. Do you remember when Richard Branson used to do like old Daredevil stuff?
No.
Like, they used him for all kinds of stuff. But one was that he used to do these balloon trips around the world, a bit like Philip Ford, I suppose. And I'm sure in one of them he tried to go over Antarctica. I think they used him for that one. But I'll have to look it up because it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the Americans came out with their version of Richard Branson, and they've got the SpaceX, and they're
I found this
professional.
out earlier on that ODD video. NASA was created, a year after Admiral Byrd went to Antarctica. Do you know what I mean? So they're like, right, we'll box it off now. Right, we've seen nobody can explore that. We'll create this little space agency and take everyone's mind to space.
Yeah, stop them searching the ground, stop them exploring anywhere. Keep them in the homes, keep them in the jobs. Yeah, you'll go and explore space, and we'll tell you all about it.
That's it. Yeah.
Genius. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing with NASA, it is very clever. NASA and Disney market everything to the child so that, well, basically it goes back to there's a saying, isn't there? I can't remember who said it. Some clever bloke a long time ago, apparently. Give me a child until he's 7, and I'll show you the man. So basically, whatever you program into a child before age 7 is going to be the way he's still thinking when he's an adult.
And it's funny you mentioned the age 7, yeah, because in the year 1066, yeah, which was not 1066, that's fucking Battle of Hastings. Sorry, I was born in Hastings, yeah, so that's where I got that confused from. Right, in the year 1666, yeah, with a 6, yeah, 1666, which happened to be when the fucking fire of London was, right? The government pulled a little trick and declared every single person dead beyond reasonable doubt, yeah? This is when, like, the birth certificate became a contract, and, you know what I mean? This is when they started fucking us. But I can't remember the original point, so can you repeat what you were saying?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person. I've lost my train of thought ages ago. We were talking about how people's minds are programmable from a young age, like up until the age.
Right. So your birth certificate's a contract, yeah, right? And you've got until the age of 7 to declare yourself a flesh being, yeah? So how the fuck's a 7-year-old meant to know that, oh, well, I'm a sovereign being, I'm not going to fucking abide by your laws and your fucking rules? 7-year-olds haven't got a clue. And the parents haven't got a clue either, because they was tricked into the same system and then fucking brainwashed by it. So they've got us properly. You know what I mean? And when you mentioned 7, then I was like, wow, it all clicked together.
I didn't know that a bit about the certificate. I didn't know we had until age 7 to.
You can do your own live. You can do your own live birth certificate. Basically, you video it. You register your own child in your own system. You know what I mean? But then you're cutting yourself loose from the system. Then you can't use fucking NHS benefits or anything. You know what I mean? So like, you'd have to have a lot of money behind you, or like an off-grid community or something.
Yeah, you'd have to have some means of surviving on your own without the government, and that's one thing I think that stressed me out. As I've got older, and I started to realise how useless I am, but also most of the people that are born in these concrete jungles called towns and cities. We're not given any actual life skills. We're not even taught how to make where to get clean water.
Anything. They don't teach us about the law because they don't want you to know the law. Yeah, like if you don't know your rights, you don't have any rights. It's as simple as that. So they don't teach you the law, because if you knew the law, you'd knew that the government was corrupt, because they're not fucking abiding by the law.
Yeah. And yeah, just like when kids leave school, you know, most of them can barely tie their own shoelaces. I bet 90% of them couldn't work a tin opener, and the rest of the population of the city wouldn't know what to do if their tin openers broke. You know, so like no one's got any actual life skills. You know, people we can get up and go to work and operate a machine or answer a phone, file some papers. That's like the extent of it. There's no survival knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I was saying the other day, like if there was a power cut, yeah, for a month, I reckon the population would drop by like 10% or something. You know what I mean? Because nobody would have any technology, electric, or any sense of what to do without it. It's like,
yeah, it would be. Sometimes I kind of wish for those scenarios, but not really. But it's like, yeah, if the system did crumble, people wouldn't be able to cope for themselves. And like, if say for example the infrastructure broke down even a little bit and they couldn't replenish the stores, the supermarkets, it wouldn't be long before people started like breaking.
on the community.
Like even if they stopped selling tobacco and nicotine, even if those two things were taken off the shelf and people couldn't get access to them, people would like start murdering each other.
It would cause fucking war on the streets, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd just go out docker picking, I'd be fine. Yeah, I was going to explain docker picking to upper class viewers, but it doesn't matter. Oh yeah. So like one of the strangest thoughts I had a couple of years ago was I wasn't taught how to breathe. Like they told me just a reflex action, but when I'd been going to like yoga classes or sometimes even to the gym, they get you to breathe a different way. Like deep breaths in through the nose and in, get it all into the stomach rather than filling your chest up. Like just little things that make things. They never told us, how to do it. Nobody told us. All we got was fucking school, TVs, and concrete jungles.
They only teach us what benefits the system. Like anything else is a threat to the system. I mean, like to them, yeah, to the ruling class, the only enemy they have is the human brain. You know what I mean? They are trying to figure out how to capture and control and manipulate the human brain in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. It's all about controlling people's thoughts and reactions. One thing that I did notice growing up, because I liked art and a few of the lessons in school, but the suppression of imagination in school, like even when it came down to doing art, we only got an hour a week, and you go in, not even had time to put an idea together, never mind get it down on paper, and then it's time to pack up and move to another lesson. And every lesson
suppressing your creativity.
Say that again.
Suppressing your creativity, like
absolutely,
the rushing you, that you're not allowed to think and concentrate and create things.
Yeah, exactly. And it was the same in any lesson, but it used to frustrate me in English the most, because we'd get into a poem or what do you call it? Not a chapter from Shakespeare or something, a scene from Shakespeare, and then it's the bell's gone and you've got to up and go away. You don't get to think about it again until the next time you're in that class, which might be like a few days later.
Yeah.
So yeah, creativity is a big thing that is pushed down in people, and it is in schools. Like when a child goes to nursery school, they're told everything. They don't get to explore or discover anything for themselves. They're like, this is red, this is blue, that's a triangle, this is number 6, all of it. And it's just given to them. Like they don't get a chance to explore anything for themselves. And like you going on before about a kettle being called a kettle, but you're dead right, because they just give you this information, and your only job is to remember that information and repeat it.
Yeah, but like we're just information processors. Like they don't allow you to think freely about the information you're processing. It's forbidden. You're a troublemaker. Start asking questions. Get out of class.
Yeah. Not allowed to ask questions in school, otherwise you're labelled, like, say, troublemaker or class clown. But I imagine class clown's quite appealing when you're completely unstimulated and completely bored, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Like literally, that was my only ambition when to go to school, was to entertain everyone, get sent out of every class straight away as soon as I could. And I had no intention of learning anything apart from in science and English, because I like telling stories. It was only when story time was being told to me, or when I got to write a story. Anything else I didn't want to know. Ram it up your ass.
Yeah, very sad, and it's kind of disappointing that, you know, especially as a mum, that my kid's best chance is me, and I'm not me. No,
Don't put yourself down like that. Fuck's sake, man.
yeah, but you know
The system's done that
you
to
know
you, Danny. The system's done that to you. You should not be fucking putting yourself down like that. That system has made you hate yourself. You are an amazing person. Don't ever think you're not a fucking good role model for your kids. You are amazing.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, and that, I think we can say that to any other parents out there that are struggling to survive in this system. Yeah, what Tom just said.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
The system designed to make us hate ourselves. Right? There's two sides of ego. Yeah, there's ego, being egotistical. I'm fucking sick. I'm amazing. I'm this, that. Yeah, and then there's you know what I mean? That's ego as well. When you put yourself down and you feel like you're not good enough, that's still the ego. And the system designs you. It plays on your ego. It either makes you feel better than people or lesser than them. But really, you're
Yeah.
not you. You know what I mean? You're nothing. You're not nothing. You're not anyone else's ideas or preconceptions. You are you. And tomorrow, you're still you, but you're a different you. You know what I mean?
When you say you're a different you, what do you mean?
Well, obviously, like yesterday, you could have gone to sleep, yeah, an angry person, fucking, I hate that cunt, yeah, and then you wake up in the morning and that's gone. You know what I mean? It doesn't even matter. Fucking, I forgot. You know what I mean? So like, you're a completely different you, but then you could remember it and start being that angry person again. You know what I mean? So it's a choice.
So you've got a choice.
On that.
Yeah, that's great. No, you've got a choice on the way that you react to things, respond to things, how you visualize things. Yeah. Also, I'd just add to that a little bit because you've made me think now. When you say
That's what I do.
it's fantastic. Keep it up. Yeah, when you say you're a different person tomorrow, actually you are a different person tomorrow because this day now you've had all these experiences and interactions that have changed pathways in your brain, you know. So the next day you can on like not learning, but like with the experience that you gained from yesterday, tomorrow can become different. It can be better in some way.
Yeah. Or you could even see what you learnt yesterday in a different way, just from having a sleep and a rest. You know what I mean? Like just things like that. I think like you're a new you every minute, every second. You know what I mean? You could choose to be the old you again by digging up the past, or you could just be you right now and experience this right here.
Fantastic. I think I'll go with that. It seems less traumatic than living in the past, you know.
You live in the past, yeah, and all you're doing is just digging up things that you can't change, yeah. And then when you're planning the future, all you're doing is imagining things that may not happen. You know what I mean? That's anxiety, both of them anxiety. But really, right now, what's the matter? Nothing. You're okay. You're not ill. There's nothing wrong with you right now. Everything else is just imaginary. You know what I mean? You've made it up. You chose to be angry about that. So it's just learning how to be more happy in the now. You know what I mean? I know it's hard with all this shit going on, and we're being brainwashed, enslaved, poisoned, fucking everything. But yeah, you can be happy.
Oh, that's a great little nugget you've just given us there, Tom.
Yeah.
Appreciating the present moment and living in this moment and not worrying about the future or being pissed off about the past or whatever. So, yeah, it's good advice. Something you just said there, and it's tricky thought. You said, "Oh, we're not ill." Talking about ill, I very rarely get ill, touch wood. But people do get ill and they go to see the doctor. What are your thoughts on things like vaccines, medication, and things like that, and doctors in general?
All of that shit in one bubble, yeah. Shit, it's fucking ruthless. Like, basically, the whole medicinal system, yeah, breeds cancer and treats cancer. Cancer itself is the most profitable business in the world. You know what I mean? They get billions and billions just cancer research, but then they get all the chemotherapy. Every person that gets chemotherapy, the person that owns the machine gets donations, and the doctor that recommended it, he gets a fucking sprinkle on his wage packet as well. Yeah, so it's literally a profitable business, and that's what all these GMO things are coming in. Yeah, they're coming in, making us ill, and then we're going to the doctors and they're making us a bit more ill with these pharmaceuticals, and then we're going to the hospital and we're getting chemotherapy. They're like, yes, come here. You know what I mean? They've got us by every angle. So like the vaccines, fucking hell, the vaccines are like literally, you ask a nurse next time if you ever see someone getting a vaccine, or if you ever have to go to the hospital and they try giving you one, ask the nurse what's in that vaccine, and she'll look at you like the fluoride stare, like, what the fuck do you mean? Just, I want to know the ingredients in it, love. You know what I mean? She won't be able to. You know what I mean? You're talking fucking gibberish to her. Just no one's ever asked that question. Well, I don't know. It's the polio vaccine. No, it's. I want to know what the polio vaccine is. I want to know what's in it. You know what I mean? She won't be able to tell you. Say, well, if you don't know what's in it, what the fuck are you doing sticking it in every cunt?
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, I had an experience recently where the local authority kept ringing me up, asking me what school my children were in, and then telling me that they needed to be vaccinated.
No
And it went on for months. I'd get this, it was like the same woman quite a few times. So I was kept thinking, is she winding me up? Is she ringing me on purpose? And in the end, I had this kind of conversation with her because I can't be bothered on the phone. And if someone's phoned me up, you want to poison my kid, I'm just going to cut you off, you know. But so this one day I had this conversation with her, and I said, so basically, you want me to bring my children to you so you can stick them with poison? And she said, yeah.
She said, yeah.
I wish I had been recording that. You know, yeah, she said, yeah. So I don't know if she wasn't listening to me and was just agreeing for the sake of it.
Well, no, you never know. There are like some proper snotty-nosed, horrible people in their jobs.
And there's some devious people in those jobs as well. One of the things that I've been finding out recently is what a dangerous place hospitals are. The whole time I've been an adult anyway, I've always had quite a healthy mistrust of doctors, and I don't think they know the shit. And I think most of them are full of absolute bollocks. But hospitals are such a dangerous place. Like, for example, if a parent, this happened to someone I know recently, took the child to A&E because they fell over or hurt themselves somehow, because kids have accidents all the time, the first thing they do is phone social services and report child abuse. And then the hospital will kidnap that child for a period of time while they try their best to find old injuries. Historic injuries, they call them.
You call them what?
So, historic injuries. So somebody I know, the little child fell over, hit the face, and the mum was worried, concerned, took it to A&E. A&E phoned social services. The hospital kidnapped the child for 3 days, wouldn't let the parents take it on. They were interrogated by the police, treated like shit by the hospital staff, and they forced that baby to have a full body X-ray and an MRI scan.
That's fucking nuts.
That's pure abuse. And to top it off, when it was all done and they decided that she can go home and it is a safe place, they decided that they want to do the X-ray and the MRI again because it's the national standard to do it 2 times.
Fucking hell.
So, but while they were in the hospital with their baby and being interrogated by the police, another mum was in there with her baby and was going through exactly the same thing.
You are?
I was just saying that these people I know that went through this in the hospital, while they were going through this, there was another woman with a baby in the bed opposite, and she was going through the same thing. The hospital phoned social services. She was being interrogated by police also. So it's a dangerous place for babies because they're going to get social services and try and take them off you, because that's, any child under 3, they're desperate for those children under 3 because they're easy to.
No, it's fosterers get fucking pay rise, don't they? For every child they get fostered.
Yep. Yeah, it's a big lucrative business, and a lot of this goes on in secret courts. People think that there's no such thing as secret courts and it's all done out in the open. But it's all done in secret courts when it's concerning a child, and the reason they do it in a secret court is they say it's for the anonymity of the child. It's not got anything to do with them trying to snatch your baby off you in secret.
The child, they want to keep the fucking child, I can't even say that word, anonymity, because they want to change the child's anonymity. They want to change its name and that. So if they gave the child's name, they wouldn't be able to, you know what I mean? They'd be able to get tracked more. So if straight away this child's not named, they can change its name and everything.
Yeah.
Up shit, that.
Less of a paper chain, all kinds of stuff going on there. But the hospitals are also dangerous for the elderly. And I say this because I've seen it happen so many times. They start pumping anyone in a nursing home or over 60 that needs a nurse to visit them on a regular basis. They start pumping those people full of vaccines. They give them the flu shot every year and all the rest of it, and it brings on early onset dementia. And when they when these old people get to a certain point of demented, the hospital will say, or the nursing home will say, oh, they've only got a week left. And basically what they do in that week is they starve them of food and water, and they drug them so they can't complain about it.
Yeah.
And everyone just accepts it. Oh, he'll be dead in 7 days. He's not got long left. I've seen it loads of times. I'm guaranteed every single time they're dead inside 7 days. Another thing they like to do to elderly people is radiate them. So give them radiation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and B17 injections. Oh, you're running low on B17, love. Fuck off, man. You just want to fill it full of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, anyway, I think basically what they do is, because an elderly person, it costs the government money, okay?
Yeah, and they don't want them to reach the pension age either, do you know what I mean? Yes, that's why they heighten the pension age and fucking introduce more flu shots and shit like that. Kill them off before the pension, so then we get to keep all the money.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. And so these old people will go to hospital with some kind of minor ailment. Maybe they had a fall and bang the hip or something not life-threatening. And the hospital will say, oh, they'll x-ray them and they'll say, oh, you've got a bit of cancer in your bones, have some radiation. and that just finishes them off.
Sort of here, treat cancer radiation. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, my advice to anybody, and I'm being deadly serious, is stay away from hospitals as much as you can. And if you're on the donor card, if you've got a donor card and you're on the donor register, go and look into human transplant because it's not done. They don't take organs from dead people. They've never been able to take organs from dead people. You can only take a viable organ from a living human being that's heart.
Obviously, fucking hell, you just blown my mind there. Honestly, wow, makes sense completely. Like, you know what I mean? You can't take something dead and give it life again. You know what I mean? You probably, like, someone just died, you can bring them back to life. Yeah, because their organs are still got living tissue and shit in it. Yeah, fucking properly blowing my mind there. Wow.
Yeah. As soon as the body is taking its last breath and that electrical current isn't flowing anymore, the organs start to deteriorate very rapidly, and your body produces all these bacteria that help in the breaking down process. So yeah, they can only take organs from living people. So look into that, and if you are on the donor,
that as well.
because in England and Wales, Wales, it's already in effect, but what they're doing is now they don't need you to be on the donor register. They don't need your consent. If you haven't told them no, if you haven't specifically gone out of your way to contact these people and say, I don't want this happening to me, they, what's it called? Presumed consent is what it is.
Can I just back you up with a story there that I've actually experienced? Basically, my sister, she had a head injury when she was like, I think she was 18, 19. And basically, she was in a coma for 6 months, yeah. And there was gonna she was in a coma for like 6 weeks, and then they was gonna turn the machine off, yeah. They gave my mum the opportunity, like, oh, do you want to turn the machine off or keep it on for 48 hours? And she said, of course I want to keep it on for 48 hours. But at the time, the organ donors were floating about, literally. You know what I mean? They had the little fucking cards on them and that. My mum could not believe it. They were literally just floating about. Oh, yeah, get that woman and see if she wants to turn that machine off so we can have the organ. Fucking mental. You know what I mean? But anyway, my mum said 48 hours. And after the 48 hours, they couldn't turn the machine off by law, yeah, because the brainstem was alive. The fucking brainstem was always alive. You know what I mean? They just wanted their organs.
Yeah, and they needed your mum's consent for it. But now they don't. Now they don't need that, and you've got to go to the organ donor company, whoever they are, and opt out of organ donation. Because I've seen an interview with the doctor and confirmed some information that had already been given. But basically what he's saying is that the term brain dead is just this fuzzy terminology that they invented so that they could broaden the organ donation field. So they'll tell a loved one, or he's in a coma, he's brain dead, there's no brain activity. Can we turn the machine off and get the organs, because they're never going to recover, basically.
They're just trying to trick you. That's all they want is their organs. So I think, oh, these people look like they'll give up easily. You know what I mean? They'll look like they'll turn the machine off.
Yeah, so it's a frightening world when you think about it. But
like the people doing that job, like the organ donors, they've been brainwashed to a point where they don't even see themselves doing anything wrong. They probably think that they're helping people, but really they're stealing people's lives. I mean, like they're robbing people before they're even dead. They're taking their organs before they're even actually dead.
Yeah, they are robbing people's lives, and there are some horrific stories of people waking up on the operating theatre about to have their organs removed, and there's quite a lot of people that are in that profession that have given it up, because when they make incisions on these supposedly dead people, they're writhing around in pain, because when they take the organs, because they're saying this person's dead, so they don't give them any anaesthetic. They only give a paralysing agent. So these dead people still feel pain. They wince, they try and wriggle away from it, or yeah. So it's that. I mean, I couldn't imagine like being in a room and about to take someone's organs out of what I thought was a dead body, and started trying to escape off the table. So yeah, that's happened to people.
That's fucking nuts, that.
So yeah.
I've like a needle phobia and that knee, yeah. So like, I've got a very vivid imagination. So when you're saying shit like that to me, I'm actually imagining myself fucking waking up from my organs fucking floating about. So it's like, oh, graphic.
Yeah, and in all these movies, they tell you that there is a trade for organs on the black market, but it only happens in third world countries off the beaten track, you know, to silly tourists that, you know, talk to the wrong person or something. But in actual fact, it's going on all day, every day in the West, in respectable hospitals by respectable people. So it always interests me that how they try and show you what the boogeyman is, whilst they're the boogeyman pretending to be the good guy.
That's what I mean, yeah. They're all like, look at these terrorists and these terrorists and these terrorists, but they're the fucking terrorists telling you to look at what they've created.
Yeah, terrorism has been a big thing in my life, and it wasn't. I'd never. Well, actually, no, it was. It's always been a big thing in my life because I grew up in the UK, so it was always background noise, what was going on in Northern Ireland and the conflicts and the IRA, stuff like that. So it's always been there. But then since 2011, it's just been a bombardment. For how many years has it been? Since 2001, I mean. So 17 years. Yeah. So since 2018. So since 2001, since 9/11, it's been a major bombardment, terrorism, to the point where people, I think, are either completely desensitized to it, or they think that the terrorists around every corner, you know.
But like, if you do ever see the news, yeah, or hear it on the radio, that's what it is. Fear, murder, fear, murder, rape, fear, murder, rape, fear, murder. And just before you go, rape, fear, murder, murder, rape, fear, murder. And that's how they do it. And that, like, you're just like, wow, that's some fucking mad shit. I wish I don't ever want to listen to the radio again.
Yeah, it's some special kind of magic that on the news. They use that music in the intro as like a build up to build you up to some, and you know, build up some anticipation to what's about to be broadcast. It's all exciting. It's like doo, 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 doo. I haven't watched the news at 10 since I was a kid, but that is a theme tune, I'm sure, from the news at 10. And then they just, like you said, fill you with all this fear. But it's like there's an entertainment aspect to it, because they've got like the introduction.
A little bit of fucking like a charity event or something's happened. Like, oh, you get a little giggle out of it, and that's it. They'll fucking murder you with fear.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, everything's all doom and gloom, death and destruction. But on a local scheme, there might be something good going on in your area, like something that's just done fun. It's usually somebody's just raised a load of money for cancer research.
That's it. That's all it is.
That's the feel-good news. The feel-good news is more fake news. Yeah, so there's like the entertainment aspect, there's a hypnotic aspect with they've got on the intro to the news, they've got like the way the animation is, it's all circular and
Yeah, programming. straight away, like a fucking globe with like a fucking what's it? Like a fucking, I know what you're saying. Like BBC News or something. Like some fucking like a globe with like I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So so it's entertainment, it's hypnotizing, and it's fear-based. And it totally rules people's lives. Like my dad, God bless him, he used to be angry all day about something he'd seen in the news, and he'd take that out on people that he came in contact with.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you just read something on a piece of paper, and now you're all aggravated and angry, and you're snapping at.
They're fucking reading something. They're outraged at this, yeah. But that's the thing, yeah, right? We're the neighbours, right? And they won't bat an eyelid, yeah. But they'll see their own fucking TV character, favourite TV character kicking off, and they'll be like all shocked and caring for him and that, but not give a fuck about the neighbour getting their head kicked in next door. You know what I mean? People are fucking mental, man.
It is mental. The TV, I think, has been a great invention for the controllers of the system that we live in. I mean, it's fucking genius when I think about it. You know, people have these little boxes in the room that everyone gathers around and watches, and it completely programs, people's minds and. Are we there? Yeah, these little magic boxes in the living room completely hypnotize people and then control what they think, but also what they do and how they act and how they behave.
Definitely. Tell you how to think, feel, act, fucking who to like, what to like, how to eat, everything, literally.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier on, like nobody wants to be themselves, they all want to be fucking Kim Kardashian or fucking Brad Pitt, some shit like that, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to be what they actually are themselves. Nobody else can be them, you know what I mean? So I want to be like this person. Not fucking understand, why don't you be like you?
Yeah, and then any time that people do try and be themselves, they get stepped on straight away, like everybody pleases them.
Yeah, of course, yeah. They're like, what are you doing being yourself? Yeah, he's being himself over there. Fucking hell. Someone go smack him.
Yeah, basically. Which is what goes on. So that's the clever part of programming though, is that the people that are like one stage ahead of you in the programming are there so that when you question the programming, they're like, you know, I just explained all that with my hands, so I don't think you understood it. Should I say it again?
Go on, I missed it. I was too busy looking.
Yeah, I was saying that a clever aspect of programming is that those people that are like a year or two ahead in the program, that they've been programmed to have a negative reaction to anyone questioning the programming.
Yeah, definitely. Agent Smith pops up.
Yeah. And you didn't think you was talking to Agent Smith, you thought you was talking to your mate, and
yeah,
all of a sudden
you're talking to your mate that you've fucking known all your life, and then you say something that shatters their reality, and you turn into Agent Smith. You're like, whoa.
Where did that come from? Yeah. So it's a clever way to put people up. It's a clever way to
people defend their own fucking illusion because that's all they have ever known. So you're literally trying to take away the favourite toy. when you're trying to tell them they don't live on this spinning space ball covered in water, shooting through a fucking hostile environment. Yeah, they don't want to know that because you're stealing the whole life. That means that they have to accept that the whole life has been a lie. Everything that they've ever done and ever loved is changed now because it's all been based on this bullshit system that they believe in.
Yeah, and they've been under powerful mind control. It is a big pill to swallow, though. You know, I can understand.
I used to fucking love NASA, me. I used to love it. Oh, Brian Cox. I used to sit there like, wow, fucking hell, he knows his shit, this guy. I used to like proper buzz off it, like, fucking hell. Watch it on a fucking after a session, you know what I mean? Like, watch Brian Cox chat shit, brain stuff out of me. And I used to love it. And then now I look at him and you can see him making it up on the spot. You can see him like, he's just cocky, do you know what I mean? Oh, he's a prick, I don't like him. I quite happily punch him.
You'll have to get to the back of the queue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Cox, he's a tit, an absolute tit. And my brother says to me, you can't say things like that about Brian Cox. He's a tit man. And I'm like, but you've never met him, so you don't know that. You know, he's willing. I mean, maybe go to university, he's a fellow, maybe he did learn all that crap about astrophysics, but doesn't mean what he's saying is right, and it doesn't make him a person. And if he is the dodgy bastard that I suspect he is, then all he's doing is delivering lines. He's not even.
And that's the funny thing about like science, yeah, right? Like if you say something in a fancy way, yeah, then people will believe it, yeah. But if someone else comes along and says something in a fancier way, but it's sort of like the same thing, then everyone will believe him instead. So that's all like fucking like gravity is, yeah. Literally, gravity is a theory, yeah, and it's only used to explain why things fall down. That's all it is, yeah. So it's not being proven; it's being used to explain why this penny drops. Yeah, the penny fucking drops because it's a penny. It's not a fucking helium balloon. You know what I mean? That's how simple it is. They've invented this gravity to rape your mind. You know what I mean? That gravity makes everything possible. It makes evolution, Big Bang, all this fucking pseudoscience mind rape shit. Gravity is the key to it all.
Yeah, and people really cling on to gravity. Like
that's the only thing it's good for, holding fucking nonsense together.
Yeah,
nonsense.
Magically sticking water to spinning balls. Yeah, I always remember when I was a kid, that was like one of the first things that I was like, okay, so we're living on a ball and you're serious, you're not pulling the leg, okay. And then it's like, how does this ball not like just fall off? How are people sticking to the bottom? Oh, gravity. And it was one of the first things that I used to think to myself, even as a small kid, like, if it wasn't a ball, you know, say it was a magnet, we wouldn't even need this complicated thing of gravity. It would just, you know, like, when I first discovered flat Earth, it was like a light bulb moment. I saw was an just CGI, but it just dawned on me that we're not spinning. You know, it's never been proven that we're not spinning. And if we're not spinning and no gravity, then it has to be, as we experience it, flat and motionless. So it was like.
What it was like for me, obviously it was the curvature thing that got me, but like that was it. Then once I couldn't prove curvature, I started looking into flat Earth properly. Like, because obviously you've dropped the ball now, right? You're at nothing now. You're nothing. You're a blank slate. So I'm like ready to fucking start writing things on my slate. And I forgot what I was fucking gonna say.
Gravity.
No, it wasn't gravity. It was that's what it was. It was the stars. It was the stars that got me properly. Like made me a full on. Because obviously, I started posting about flat Earth, and I got bullied off my timeline because I still wasn't like knowledgeable enough. So it was the stars that got me then, because I started doubting flat Earth again. I started thinking, nah, bullshit. You know, because like it was my ego was bruised from everyone giving me shit. But it was the stars that got me then. Yeah, like they're trying to tell us that we're fucking shooting at ridiculous, unimaginable speeds. Yeah, right. And they're all different speeds. Like the Earth is meant to be rotating around the sun at 67,000 mile an hour, and then the sun's meant to be shooting through the fucking galaxy at some million miles an hour, and then the whole galaxy is meant to be shooting at an even faster speed. Yeah, so how does that even work? How's three different speeds going in one speed? You don't fucking fathom. Do you know what I mean? Like, if the galaxy's going at a million mile an hour, yeah, how's the Earth rotating around the sun at 67,000 mile an hour inside that galaxy?
Yeah, and how are we always seeing the same stars in the same position?
That's where I was going. Yeah, like that's what I mean. We're meant to see the same. We're meant to see the same stars since the fucking origins of the pyramid. You know what I mean? Like the Great Pyramid, and that was based on Orion's belt, and we're still seeing the same stars from all that time ago, shooting through a fucking forever expanding fucking Big Bang fucking bullshit.
Big fart, basically, yeah. Yeah, it is madness. What my little theory on that is that the whole reason they have anything spinning in the first instance, well, firstly, because to explain the gravity, but it's to create a spin in your brain because you can never get a handle inside your imagination on how all these things are spinning together. So it causes confusion. So you never feel clever enough.
Rely on them. You rely on the experts. Then you're just like, oh well, they've figured it out because my fucking brain can't figure all that spinning and fucking shooting. It almost sounds insane.
Yeah, it does.
Fucking insane.
So, I'm going to wrap this up shortly because my husband's going to be
quite fucking well on our first ever live. You know what I mean? I looked at the time then, I was like, yeah, I was well proud of myself.
Yeah, you've done great, man. It's been fantastic. Yeah, Sam's on the way up, so I'm going to make him dinner because he's been slaving away.
Now I've broke my live virginity, though, I will be fucking like calling out to everyone. I'm like, I want to go live with you. I want to go live with you. In fact, I might start going in them fucking roast and bants things, you know, like get on one of them and they're all like, meh, and just fucking flat earth the fuck out of them all.
Yeah. Before I go though, I was going to say, you helped me, you and another activist, Aaron, helped me do an art installation, a real art installation on Formby Beach, where we built out of house bricks the most giant flat earth sign you could imagine. Each letter was about 20 foot long. It was absolutely epic. But it was like a proper art installation. It's like the physical stuff that's there, and it's going to trigger pure thought from anyone that sees it, you know?
Yeah, it was fucking ace. And I can just remember you like, how big should we do it? And like, because you was making out like a layout, weren't you, for us to fucking lay the bricks down on. And we did it massive, yeah. And then like we started laying the bricks down on the F, and I was like, fucking hell, it's gonna take us hours. And it did. But it was worth it, like proper worth it, because we got loads of attention. It was a really, really busy day on the beach. So like at one point someone was like, yes, fucking round. I was just laughing there. He must have been walking on the top bank and looking down and seeing us writing it.
Yeah, it's great when a piece of graffiti or stickers or anything like that triggers some like responses like that. I've had people scream at me when I was on the canal once in somewhere doing a piece of graffiti. Research flat earth, and someone rode past on the bike and he screamed at me really angry, it's fucking round. I was like, and I've marker penned on a park bench before, earth is flat, and I've gone back and someone's scratched in the back in the bench, scratched, etched it in, fucking idiot.
Probably even gone, yeah. They've probably sat there, seen it, got that triggered, ran home and got a knife to carve it out. That's how bad it gets people. You know what I mean? Like my brother is probably watching now because he's my ultimate troll. Like, I swear down, like on every single one of my posts, yeah, he's boom straight on it. It doesn't matter what I'm fucking post about. He just disagrees with me. I think he buzzes off it. To be fair, but like, why do I keep forgetting what the fuck we're talking about?
You're saying your brother's your ultimate troll?
Yeah, but
It's talking about people.
you are.
We were talking about triggering people, and you said my brother's my ultimate troll.
Yeah, that's it. I think I triggered him, yeah, to the point where he's dedicated his whole life to troll me now. That's it. Like, I think he genuinely knows the Earth's flat. We've already proved it to him, yeah. But like, for him to exist in his life still, the way he lives, yeah, he has to still believe in that. Like, he knows that I'm right, and that's what triggers him to fucking argue with me all the time. So, Daniel, if you're watching, mate, just drop the fucking ball, bro. You know what I mean? We've already destroyed you. You make a twat out yourself every single day on my posts. Yeah, you get destroyed, and all you cling to is the fucking southern hemisphere and a map that we don't actually believe in. Sort your life out, mate. Anyway.
Just remember me of one more thing before I go. That was great. Yeah, listen to your brother. But one more thing. Balls. Like, they've made the fucking planets balls. They've made Earth a ball. And then all these games that are for adult entertainment, they all revolve around balls. Tennis, golf, cricket, football, fucking rugby, even though it's a fucking squash ball. It's still a ball, isn't it? And then there's all that, don't take your eye off the ball, don't drop whatever. So it's like, all that's not by accident.
Nah, is it fuck, man? The program runs that deep. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Earlier on, I generally can't remember the name of the guy who wrote this post. But big shout out for writing it. Earlier on, yeah, I seen in my newsfeed someone had put up if the moon is reflecting the sun's light, then why don't wolves howl at the sun? Yeah, wolves only howl at the moon because they're nocturnal, and the moon shines its own light. It's its own thing. So I just want you all to, like, whoever's watching or listening, to properly think about that. Yeah, because nocturnal animals. Yeah, there'd be no such thing as nocturnal animals, like Danny said earlier. If the moon didn't shine its own light and it was reflecting the sun's light, there'd be no such thing as nocturnal animals, and wolves definitely wouldn't howl at the fucking moon. There'd be no point in it. They'd howl at the sun.
Yeah, that's a great point, that, and I've never thought about that until you put it early.
I'd never thought about it, and I seen that in the post early, and it was like, ping, one of them fucking light bulb moments.
Yeah, they are great, because I just love things like that just make you think and make you question what you already thought that you knew, you know. I think that the biggest thing for me is just accepting that I never knew anything. I still don't know anything. All I've ever had is information. But what I have got, and what we've all got, is we've got our own experiences, and we've got our own feelings, we've got our own senses, we've got our own fucking, for the most part, thoughts, you know.
For me, like, flat Earth is not a belief. I didn't have to believe it. Like, a belief is something you don't want to think about it anymore, so you believe it. You're like, oh, for that, I can believe in something though. Yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, I know the Earth is flat. Yeah, because I've done enough research to the point where I can prove that we don't live on a ball and the majority of the Earth is flat. Yeah, you know what I mean? I can prove that. You know what I mean? So it's not a belief, knowing I know the Earth is flat.
Zoe Soulfest, sorry, I'm just taking a phone call from my husband. Zoe Soulfest is someone from Soulfest. Oh, you rang her? Oh, right, was it I left a voicemail yesterday. It's about getting us 3 tickets to Soulfest if I do an art exhibition. But I'm live on YouTube as we speak, so best get off. All right, I'll see you when you get in. Of course I will. All right, bye-bye, love you. So that was just like. Say that again, Tom.
We're talking about an art exhibition, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a festival coming up in the northwest of England called Soulfest. It's like an annual thing, and they're looking for artists to do live artwork. So, and it gets you free tickets in the festival. So I'm all for free tickets.
That's it.
So yeah. Sorry about that, everyone.
Like, you're going to just do your normal artwork that you normally do, or you're going to go and do something bigger, better, or like, you know, like not better. I didn't mean that. I mean like something different to what you do normally. Do you know what I mean? Like, because you're getting in the gallery or whatever.
Well, I'm not sure if I do anything different because I'm not a technically trained artist. I'd say I'm technically an artist rather than a technical artist. So why I call it expressionism. So
yeah.
I can't do it, but it would be great to do that do live art like that, and get other people to do it also, just to show that anybody can do art.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't need to have gone to no fancy school. You don't need no idiot trying to tell you what everything means and represents and all that bullshit. We're all creative in our own ways, and it's good to express that. You know, it shouldn't be suppressed, and it shouldn't be something only people that have been to university.
The only thing we actually truly have. You know what I mean? Like, without it, everything else is what everyone else wants you to be. You know what I mean? Like, truly expressing yourself is the only thing you can actually do. You know what I mean? Like, everything else is just what everyone else wants, or preconceived shit. So yeah, you bang on the money there.
Yeah. Actually, I think I'm gonna. I've got a painting for you. The Out of Nothing, because you named it. You looked at it and you said, "Oh, we should call that Big Bang."
Oh, that's the painting. No way, that's a fucking beast.
It was based on the Big Bang, and it's called Out of Nothing. So that I'm going to give that one to you. That's yours, Tom. Okay.
Nice one. I'm actually for
that. Yeah. So no, I really have to go now because I'm gonna have to get Sam's
we've
dinner.
Smashed it anyway. We've absolutely smashed it. I think we've done a while anyway. Been well over an hour. So I thought it'd only be like an hour or something. So we've done really well.
Yeah, it's been brilliant, and thanks for coming on. Thanks for letting me be your first host.
Yeah. Honestly, it's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure, and I wouldn't have liked to do this with anyone else for the first time because I feel like very comfortable, and even when I've got a bit, I've still been able to breathe out. Like normally, once I start stuttering, I can't come back from that because I get triggered in my own mind that it's my ego or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's been fucking amazing. Thank you.
Oh, sweet, thank you. So, I guess I'll see you at Heaton Park.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What time are you getting there?
I'm not 100% sure. It'll be after dinner time.
Right, yeah. Right.
So if anyone else wants to talk with Tom Truthful or myself or any other flat earthers, there's a meet in Heaton Park, Manchester this Saturday. That's is it from 12 o'clock? So from 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, and it's normally at the cafe bit, in it. It's got, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, there's a cafe deep in the park with a little animal sanctuary around it, and that's the meeting's just held at the back of there. It's not a meeting; it's just a meetup, so where people can get a chance to chat to like-minded individuals. So
yeah, because some people don't even have like Facebook or anything like that. Some people only use YouTube, so like the YouTubers get a chance to come out and mingle then and talk to like-minded people that are not on a screen. You know what I mean? So it gives. These meetups are amazing. Like the more people that organise them, the better. The more people that organise camps, the better. The more people that organise the activism events, the better. Because that's what it's all about, really, isn't it? Together, and getting the truth out there, spreading awareness.
Yeah, we're not gonna make any change sat on our chairs behind our keyboards.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. All right, so I'll see you Saturday. Thanks a lot. All right, good night, folks.